There it is.
Candace, you're on mute.
I was so excited. Yikes. So many things I said.
What did you say?
I just said I'm so excited for tonight. Like the first night, I think I was still a little nervous about the new season, but like tonight, I feel really ready.
You know why you feel really ready?
Why?
It's because a big thing happened yesterday in the universe.
Oh, it sure did.
That's how you feel right.
For sure.
That could have been it. Yeah, that I feel like the universe is getting right. I feel like there's some parts of the universe are still struggling, but they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. They can cry it out.
We're getting them together. One conspiracy theory at a time. We're getting everyone together, and it's gonna be great. Just give us a few months. Tighten it up.
Chill out. Yeah, they're gonna need therapy like we needed therapy 4 years ago.
Listen, welcome. Everyone needs therapy. Join the club. Sponsored by BetterHelp. No, actually not.
Oh my God, I love that.
But it was fantastic, wasn't it? Every piece of yesterday was fantastic from start to finish. Special shout out to the poet laureate, obviously, who stole the show. Miss Amanda, Harvard class of 2020. Killed it.
So many, like, it was just, I just sat on the edge of my couch and just like stared up at the TV. It was just
brilliant.
It kept going and like growing and just I don't know how it kept getting better from the beginning all the way to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another shout out to, I don't think he's getting enough credit for this, but to Garth Brooks. I don't listen to country music. I don't listen to any of his music, but I love that he said yes to the invitation, understanding that a large portion of his base was not going to be happy with that decision.
Mm-hmm.
And being an adult and saying, listen, I'm doing this because I love my country. It has nothing to do with politics. Mm-hmm. And everyone needs to just get on board and move on.
It was important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You did a nice job too.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not one to get into like women's clothing, though I did do a lot of searching last night after the event. But I would like to make a special shout out to Lady Gaga's bird. That was very large. I loved the memes online that were kind of connecting it to the Hunger Games Mockingjay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can get it. I get it. Someone who's read the trilogy, I can see exactly the correlation between the two.
Her performance was top notch.
It was so good. She's such an amazing singer. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. And
a special shout out to whoever in the group chat decided monochrome was the trend of the week, because they all looked so stunning. Every single last one of the women.
Do you think that was coordinated?
It was 100% coordinated.
Do you think, because if we're being completely honest, like, oh my God, why has her name escaped me? Who coordinated? Brian, help. My brain stopped working. The senator ran for president. She did all the speeches yesterday.
You talk about the host?
Yes.
Oh, Amy Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar. I'm sorry. So Amy Klobuchar rocked it out yesterday. But she like set it off with her little look. She looked great. And her bangs were great, just like they always do.
She looked great. She did.
Yeah. So what's the topic for today's behind the scenes? We got a few seconds left.
I had an encounter today with a founder. And it kind of ties into some of the things we talked about Tuesday. But there's a founder I was speaking to who wanted to raise $1.5 million for their seed round, and had been talked down by investors in her community that she should only raise $600,000.
Okay. And why was she talked down to that number?
Because that number was quote unquote common for other seed rounds in that community.
That's BS. What about the business or the needs of the industry or what you're doing or your traction?
It's a platform that uses not to give it away. It's a platform that uses machine learning. So they need to make significant key hires
Yeah.
that are expensive people.
Expensive. Yep.
They need, it's an enterprise sales tool.
Enterprise sales. Expensive.
Salespeople.
And there's no way in my mind that I can justify her raising only $600,000 to make this work.
What does traction look like at this point?
They are in beta with a few enterprise customers. So low traction, but in market.
Yeah, a low round would be $1 million.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if someone was at 1.5, I would never encourage them to cut that number in half, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only situation where I would see saying 650 is if they were not even in market, right? And they were just starting to build, and they had some sort of alpha product and hadn't even gotten to beta. But to raise less than half of that, that sounds as if the investor is saying to them, that sounds about what you can raise.
Or that's all I can afford. Right?
Or both.
Yeah. They can afford so much, they want to kind of lower the round and lower the valuation to fit their needs at seed, not the company's.
So I wonder if there were any kind of valuation talks in there as well, Lexi.
Maybe. But just for anyone watching, I tell founders this every day. It's going to be the same amount of time and headache to raise $600K because the people you'll be talking to are different, but the headache is the same.
Same.
Then to raise the $1 million and change.
And there is nothing worse than having the team you need and then having to tell them, hey guys, you can stay, but I'm not going to be able to pay you.
And so speaking of, that $600K in terms of runway gets her maybe 9 months.
Which is too risky for an investor.
It's adding risk to the deal, not taking it away.
Yeah. Absolutely insane from another predatory community that has this very tight-knit group of angels that
That's the one we always talk about.
In the purse strings for these people for decades.
Is it the same one?
Same place.
Interesting.
It's our neighbors. Yeah.
I'm doing an article about that actually, Lexi, you'd be happy to know. Coming up.
Can't wait to read it.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it at the team offsite next week. I just feel as if did you know that Mr. Brecken over here is a TechCrunch contributor?
I did know that.
I had no idea. I had no idea. I'm pretty excited about it. He didn't know.
Which is very exciting. So we have to make sure that anything that you write, you have to let the Twitch community know so we can all read it.
100%. And it will be fire, as always.
And they have to be the first to read it. So everyone has to continue to watch the show to get the content early.
I'll drop it here first. Yeah.
Drop it like it's hot and then level it up.
No spoilers.
Well, it can't be a spoiler. I think they already put it on Twitter.
That's true. Although I will say, both of these companies are super interesting for people watching the show. I think sometimes when we hear ed tech, we always think about like public schools and private schools, but they're doing some really interesting things for everyone else in the community as well.
Cool. I'm excited.
Me too.
How do we know when it's time to go? Like,
Marlon said it's 1 minute.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry.
He said 1 minute a minute ago. I don't know. What does this mean, Marlon?
I mean, voice of God, he should be coming in and sharing that, those types of his and telling us to keep going.
Yeah. I don't know.
He doesn't want to talk. We're a company and a venture capital firm that invests in companies run by women and minorities, particularly when they're away from the coast. I'm very, very focused on the Midwest. You are watching live the first pitch competition on Twitch, where you, the viewer, have an opportunity to vote for companies that you like best.
So every episode, we have 3 judges, plus you, the audience. You also get to judge each pitch. After each presentation, you'll see a cute little box pop up with a Twitter link for you to vote for if you would invest in the company yourselves.
During round 1, we watched as the startups presented their pitch deck in 5 minutes or less. Then the judges began their Q&A. After we selected viewer-submitted questions for the founders to answer, in the end, the audience and judges had the opportunity to vote in the poll below for the company they liked best.
Candace, do you mind if we start?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
All right. So officially, welcome back, everyone. It is season 4, episode 2 of Twitch Pitch, the very first pitch competition here on Twitch, hosted by the very first VC team to be on Twitch. Once again, for everyone who's been here before, you know the rules, but let me explain it to folks who may be new to the program. Every season, we see 12 companies that compete. They go head-to-head for the top 3 slots for the finale. What we're going to see is a founder talk a little bit about who they are, what they like, and then show their pitch video, and then open it up for a Q&A from us, the judges, as well as you, the audience. So as you're watching the pitch videos, feel free to throw any questions or comments you have in the chat box below, whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, or any other platform. We'll make sure to get to your questions. At the end, we also open it up for voting. So stick around to see the number for voting so you can make your stake for your favorite company of the night. And once again, the 3 favorites go to the finale, and the grand prize winner at the end of the finale gets $25,000 as a grant, no questions asked, no strings attached, to do whatever they want for their business. We're really excited to continue to do this for you all. We are in season 4 now. We are so excited to keep this going, and we can do that really with some of our great sponsors and partners that we have for the program. So our top sponsor this season is JP Morgan Chase & Co. JP Morgan is a global leader in financial services, offering solutions to the world's most important corporations, governments, and institutions in more than 100 companies. Or in countries, excuse me. This show is also brought to you by the Ohio Third Frontier. The Third Frontier works with innovative startup companies across the state, making Ohio the destination for tech entrepreneurs. This robust network of resources helps take advanced ideas and turn them into new tech businesses. And the show is brought to you by the Hillman Accelerator. Hillman was the very first pitch competition, accelerator in the Midwest, focused on underrepresented founders, created by yours truly, the great Candace over here, can't see my hands, Miss Candace Matthews-Brackeen, who is one of our judges. Candace, not only being the founder and executive director of Hillman, is also the co-founder and GP of our fund, Lightship Capital, and is an expert in all things brand building, e-commerce, and CPG related. On the other side of me, we have Brian Brackeen, who is the other co-founder of our fund, Lightship Capital, and a GP and an expert in all things AI, machine learning, computer vision, all that super fun high-tech stuff. And then there's me, I'm Lexi. I lead the investment team for the fund, and I love all things health tech. So we're the team. Once again, we're super excited today. We're going to see 2 really great edtech companies pitch. So stick around, folks. And first up, we're going to see our first company, which is Level Up, brought to you by Natalia.
Hey, hey.
Welcome.
Hey.
Or you have 1 minute to tell us all about you as a person, as a human.
Hi, y'all. I'm Natalia Bishop. I am the founder and CEO here at Level Up. I'm from Colombia originally, but I have fallen in love with Louisville, Kentucky over the last 20 years of being here in the wonderful city of Louisville. I am a mom to 2 really wonderful human beings. I am an okay parent, I would say, a wife. I am also a huge foodie, pretty sucky writer. I absolutely despise exercise. And so I don't do it very often, but I never skip dessert either. And I love, love, love cooking, spending time with my friends, with my family, and creating new businesses and opportunities and investing on people in my community, as well, specifically into women, because we know that when women thrive, everybody thrives. So it's how I love to spend my time and giving of others. Thank you so much for having us here. Special shout out to Deacon Joshua watching me in the audience.
Natalia is the first person to nail it. I love it.
Perfect.
So good.
It has always been hard to learn as an adult, but now more than ever, tuition costs are astronomical. COVID is making it incredibly difficult to get interaction with peers and feedback from teachers. And with women making up over 70% of the people exiting the workforce, it feels as challenging as ever to get new skills to find a fulfilling and thriving career. It is time for a fundamentally different approach. Level Up helps women gain skills to develop their careers and explore their interests while building community and network anywhere in the world in as little as 10 minutes. It is why we have over 1,000 learners on our platform from all over the United States. They are tired of expensive tuition courses that are one-sided, pre-recorded content that doesn't allow for feedback or interactions, and spending way too much time sifting through the internet trying to find a skill that they're looking for. We've been going about this all wrong. I'm Natalia, CEO and founder of Level Up. Welcome to the Learning Revolution. The future of learning is on demand and in community. Our live online class marketplace enables content creators from around the world to share their skills and passions with our learners in minutes, presenting them with a seamless and familiar e-commerce experience. And our on-demand learning subscription works like Netflix, but for skill learning. And it's designed to be consumed in burst style, in 10 minutes or less, so you can learn at your own pace, anytime, anywhere, but always with the support of our community. As we grow, we're introducing personalization, allowing us to make suggestions that take into account what we know about you, your interests, career goals, and your previous courses. It's a breakthrough in education methodology and user experience. We are remixing education, community, entertainment, and e-commerce, and it's working. Our power users take 2 to 3 classes a month and bring 5 of their friends to the platform on average. Our teachers bring 10 to 15 new learners from their own audience with them, even before the obvious network effects from cross-pollinating teacher audiences. This speaks to the virality and the authenticity of our brand. Take Preston. She decided to take a cookie decorating class during maternity leave. She turned the skill into a successful side hustle and eventually a full-time career decorating cookies and finally teaching classes of her own at Level Up. Within 3 months, she had sold out each and every one of her classes and had brought over 75 new learners with her. And she continues to make referrals through her network. We provide the value and they provide the virality. And this is just the beginning. Level Up is going to own live on-demand education and everything around women's learning. We've already enabled our live classes and we're working on personalization capabilities. So imagine all the skills you want to learn masterfully curated under one single brand in a way that makes learning feel more like entertainment and with a wonderful community of women that have your back. We are penetrating this market with our live online class marketplace. We charge a service fee for each class ticket sold with an average of $32 a ticket, with 38% of our learners taking multiple classes each month, and we know how to monetize. From our legacy in-person classes, we grew our business to over $175,000 in annual recurring revenue. And next, we are launching our new subscription platform for burst-style learning. The timing is right and the opportunity is huge. Women spend over 60% of the $325 billion in the e-learning market, and the $418 billion media e-commerce market continues to grow like never before. And it shouldn't surprise you that COVID has accelerated that e-learning market growth by 12% this year. My team and I were already building our platform and marketplace for live classes. I founded multiple businesses grossing over $1 million in revenue, but more importantly, I know how to build community and create compelling brands. My co-founder, Hannah, brings a data-driven approach to growth, virality, and performance marketing. Along with our senior engineer, learning design experts, strategic partners, and 2 other world-class engineers, we built a better learning experience for women that is on demand and in community. So if you or someone you love are ready to take your skills and level them up, we'd love for you to join us on our mission to connect, educate, and inspire women all over the world. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow.
Did you like that?
And there's someone in the audience, Java Grant, was like, "Is Candace giving something away?" Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So a question for you. So, my kids have used DIY. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm certain you've seen that app. Would this be fairly similar, because they love that and they've used it for a long time?
So in a sense, it is similar. And actually, my kids were on there as well for a period of time, where you have this support of the community of other children. That there's a social network aspect to this with DIY that we don't quite have just yet. So the community piece happens because the classes are live. You're actually with other people at the same time, instead of it just being some pre-recorded content that is up there and you're just sort of commenting or doing whatever with a feed that's pre-recorded. You're actually interacting with each other. So there's even more of a community piece to it. And then there's also a community that we have off of the actual, platform itself, where they're interacting in Instagram, and we have Slack channels that are specific to each specific subtopic. So for example, hand lettering or growing a business, starting a business, and the same with teachers as well. So we're surrounding them with community all the way through, not just during the time that they're taking class.
So a lot of creators are not necessarily curriculum or content builders.
Mm-hmm.
How are you helping them with that aspect?
Yeah, we're super aware of you can be really good at something and have zero idea on how to actually create a compelling teaching curriculum that goes with it. And also, but there's no reason you shouldn't monetize something that you're really, really good at. And so what we have done is we brought on Renee Pilbeam, who is our learning designer. She is out of Arizona State University, is a professor, and has been with us for the last year or so, creating a support system and basically an onboarding process. So if you don't know how to create a course, we're going to hold your hand with our virtual process. And we also have support for our teachers. We have a team just dedicated to creating that compelling description and marketing the tool as well. So it's not just creating great curriculum, it's creating great photography for it and great descriptions and how to sell it. Because again, so much of this is the e-commerce piece.
How much are you leveraging websites like Pinterest or apps like Pinterest? Do you think that you'll start to kind of find influencers that will join the platform? And I'm certain you've thought through all of these things.
Yeah, no, we're already there. And I love that you're bringing this up, because really where the money is, where the amazing teachers are, is on content creators, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, right? And so we use a specific mix of hashtags and again, teachers kind of tend to already be in their own little communities, right? So you have someone that is a cookie decorator that may know someone who's in the graphic design sphere. And so we have been really, really careful on how we are recruiting these teachers and our messaging, so that we're starting to put those seeds down of how do we want our community to look like, and who do we want to be participating and teaching those skills. We are curating this first layer of teachers, but we're already seeing that virality of, hey, I know that I had a great experience teaching here. Let me tell my friend who's also a creator of content. So, and I'm really proud to say that we've also taken a really hard look at what does our diversity look like for our teachers, because we know, as a woman of color, I know what that is different to learn from, and that you need different certain things explained differently or from a different point of view. And so we wanted to make sure that we were representative. And so about 45% of our teachers are actually BIPOC or queer self-identify. So it's really something that we really look very hard into.
Awesome. Who's next?
I'll go. I'll just say that people in the comments are all about this business. They're selling each other on it. They're telling each other the Are you seeing, which leads to my first question, you seem to have created like super fans on the platform, and those fans, as you know, convert more fans. Is that part of your strategy, and how's it working?
Absolutely. And, we started locally, as I mentioned on the video. We had a legacy product that we were doing about 3.5 years ago. So this sort of started organically, and we were putting on these classes that were in person, right? And so we have customers that have been with us since the very beginning, that continue to show up for class, that have stuck with us through the pivot. And we know, again, women and men in general, but women, we have many layers. We're like onions in a way, right? So you have your fluffy layer of like, hey, I want to learn calligraphy. I want to learn something. I want to do something fun with my girlfriends or my sisters, right? And then you have like, hey, I want to learn how to plan for the future with my finances, or I want to start a business, or, I want to learn how to code. And you can do that with a trusted brand. But it's really difficult to sift through all that content just on the internet and do one-off. So people keep coming back and experiencing and experimenting with their own interests, and they bring their friends. So that's part of the beauty of this.
Also, it seems like it's you too, right? You're special. You've gone out. You've kind of curated some of the early folks and the early curation. It reminds me of Airbnb very early on saying you've got to do some things that are not scalable to get to scale, where people were uploading not great pictures of the units. They weren't selling very well, so they would take pictures themselves of the units, right? So again, is that part of your strategy? And then how will that work when you start to go to other cities? Are we going to just ship you to different places to make the magic happen?
100%. You're absolutely right. Like, a lot of this is the energy that we as a team bring into this. But what we figure out is, how do you hack yourself into all these places? So if you haven't heard of the tool Loom, you should totally do that, because it is a really easy way to convey video-wise how you and bring that energy into it. And now that we scale into not in-person classes anymore, but everything is happening live online, we have customers and we have teachers from literally all over the world now. We have people from France, Spain, we have people in Canada, and this was completely unintentional, right? It just happened. And so we see this as part being the curation of the brand, but also people really quickly identifying what they like and either moving on or staying over and over and over and bringing their friends with it.
I'll just toss it to Lexi, but just by saying, for Candace and I, Colombia is one of our favorite countries in the world. And so
Yes.
It's no surprise to us that this product is created by Colombia.
Thank you. Thank you. I like to joke that it's like Sofia Vergara, Shakira, and then me. But no.
No, you're at the top of the list for sure.
Lexi.
Excellent. So just to echo Natalia's point, if anyone's watching this and wants to do Twitch Pitch, we also highly recommend Loom. It's a really great platform for you to easily film your video and get it submitted to us for free. First point. Second point, Natalia, if you're comfortable, I'd love for you to share some of your growth plans for the platform for this year and next year.
Absolutely. And I was like biting my tongue in the backstage when you guys were talking earlier behind the scenes about the racing piece and what was told, and that is literally something that was told to me as well, of like, hey, don't shoot for the stars. It's like, go lower. This is what people do. And sometimes when you're in that place, you're not really sure where to look and what to do. But I love that you guys were like, you know what, do your thing and just take the bull by the horns and take what you need. And that needs to be kind of like the mindset. So for us, this year, we really want to, we are opening a round, of course, and we are looking for fuel money to get us to scale rapidly. I mean, of course, we need lots of hires to do that, and we need some marketing dollars as well. One of the key things that we want to put a lot of money into this year is AI, because we believe that if we are able to tailor this to a specific career goal or a specific set of things that you like, your likes and dislikes, very much like how you would do your Stitch Fix, right? That the engagement will go through the roof. And then also we have our entire burst style, which you saw in the video, completely UX UI design. We just need to raise the dollars to be able to hit play on building that and develop that. So that's what we plan to do next, and just get as much market share as we can. So we need some dollars to do that.
Fantastic. And as a reminder, everyone, you can ask questions to Natalia. So we'll start with Java Grunts, the first one I see down here. When did Level Up start, and are you profitable? If you're comfortable answering that second part.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started, like I mentioned, back in 2016 with a legacy product of live in-person classes. I'm from South America. I wasn't thinking hundreds of millions at that point. I was just like, I'm trying to do some classes. And I was trying to do it really small and really, really just kind of like local. And as things grew, we made a huge pivot in 2019 and decided to build a tech platform. Late 2019, we launched it literally the week before the world melted and had to repivot again. And that's when we decided to go online. So the product, as you know it today, didn't launch until May of 2020. And in that time frame, we went from 0 people on our platform to we have almost 5,000 users right now. 1,000 learners out of those 5,000 users. And we went from 0 teachers. Well, actually, we had like 11 teachers that were our legacy teachers, to now we have over 200 on the platform. I think we just hit 230 or so. So that's our trajectory there. And then we are not yet profitable. So it has been bootstrapped all the way through. I'm your proverbial immigrant with, doing all the things and putting money into it in other ways as well. So all of that has come from, we did raise a small friends and family round, and we had some grant dollars as well. So everything has been non-dilutive, bootstrapped all the way through.
Fantastic. And so it seems to be a couple of Java Grunts that'll be here. So one from earlier is, how are your creators vetted?
So we actually have a pretty, so part of our pivot was how do we automate ourselves in that process? So we have a parameter that we built into the software. So when you apply, it based on what you answer, it's a quick 60-second application. It will say yes or no to you, and then you can start creating your course. Now, through that process of creating your course, we have support in the team of our teacher team. And so we're able to let people explore what they want to put online, but most of it happens right before with the software itself. So as we're recruiting, it's a little bit different. Like I said, there's a magic combination of hashtags and other things that happen through Instagram and Pinterest that we're able to kind of see content and reach out to some people and say, hey, we love what you're doing, come on out.
Excellent. And what are the other curated live content competitors?
So none that are live content. We have obviously your pre-recorded content competitors such as Masterclass. There's Brit & Co. as well, who is doing pre-recorded content. Teachable, it's more of a marketing tool. But either they don't have the dual-sided marketplace where you can come in for one creator and that's all you get. And they really aren't taking advantage of like, hey, I'm here for this creator. I'm going to cross-pollinate my audience. Presumably we like similar things because of the brand itself. And so there isn't anything like that going on. And currently there isn't anything like that is doing group live classes other than like Airbnb experiences. But again, the focus of that is more on like, hey, try, how to, go through Tokyo with such and such person. There isn't really any skill involvement, anything that you can then take and replicate on your own. At the end of the day, for us, we want to close the gender GDP gap. We want to tool women up and get them to open their own businesses and create revenue for their families and do all these other things. And to do that, you need skills, you need knowledge that you can replicate outside of just like, hey, I just watched this really entertaining and beautifully made 10-minute video masterclass. But how do I still can't do the backhand like Serena Williams can, right? So that's part of what we want to make sure that each of our of our courses does have, and we make sure that they do.
Excellent. And Icarus 45 wants to know, what are your favorite or most popular level up classes currently?
Yeah, so my favorite, I am a creative at heart. I actually started as a photographer. That was my journey to entrepreneurship when I became a mom. And so I'm all about the creative classes. So I started Level Up because I wanted to learn how to throw pottery, and I suck at it. And so I kept going and going and going, and I'm actually pretty decent. So that's my favorite class that I've taken, but also like budgets and bourbon. Just gonna put that out there. And then some of the most popular classes right now, we have a great class by Finance, which is specifically around traveling and making your budget for 2021 so you can travel the world. It's a really, really cool finance class on creating a budget with a specific goal in mind and really doing that without having to, get additional jobs or anything like that. So I would highly recommend that one.
And very last question, do you think creators could eventually have a career based on Level Up from Java Grunt?
I don't just think so. I know so. and the person that is an example is Preston Fouts, which you saw on the video. I mean, she went from being like a regional manager at an insurance company, making like 6 figures, to literally taking this $45 cookie class, quitting her job, and she's been featured in the Food Network. Has like 70,000 followers on Instagram or something crazy, and is doing this full time. She actually also created a cookie, like how to plan your cookie business. So she continues to do those classes through us as well, but create a planner for it. So an additional product out of her, her business. So it's definitely possible.
I love that. And obviously the audience is loving it as well. So as a reminder, you do get to vote, audience. So to vote for Level Up, Natalia's company, text the number 3 to 203-408-6432. Once again, that's 3 to 203-408-6432. And one quick note, if you're watching this on YouTube, you do have to text the phone number. You cannot put the number in the comments. So as a reminder, text that number 3 to 203-408-6432. And Natalia, for everyone who's dying to level up and learn a new skill, how can they find the platform?
Yeah, so you can just go straight to our website at levelupwithus.com, or if you're on Instagram or Facebook, it's at LVL Up Official. We are there. Our community's there. Come hang out. Come take a class and try something new and explore something a little bit new for yourself. Thank you all so much. You guys are awesome for doing this. We really appreciate it.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we're going to do like investors do. We're going to talk behind your back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Oh.
Oh my goodness. That was so much fun.
That was really good.
What was that?
I said, what are your quick thoughts?
My quick thoughts are, really she just has to get to scale very quickly because I think competitors are coming in this space. I think that burst style learning is growing in popularity. I use it every day on the Noom app. I'm learning a little bit and I'm tracking things, and that's how I'm learning. And my kids are kind of doing similar things on an app, like I said, DIY. So you can learn how to play. I've got one practicing guitar playing, so the ukulele right now on DIY. So I think that competitors are coming. So she's going to have to raise quickly to get herself to scale. But I was happy to hear that she's got 1,000 people learning and 5,000 users. So she's got 4,000 people to learn on right now. Like, how do we convert those other 4,000 to daily active users? I don't know. She's got some great energy. I think I missed a few things about, who the current team is. I was just so excited about her, but who's the current team and kind of like what do they look like on the technical side? I know that was all in there, but I was so excited about other things that those things got lost for me.
Right.
I'm all at this stage, I'm always founder driven. Is the founder really great? Are they transformational? Or do they have great personality, charisma? Can they drive the idea? And I have none of those concerns here. She's amazing. She's got a good vision. Some folks in the comments mentioned it too. The product is very mature for its age. Very mature for its age. Looks great. Yeah, so I would, to Candace's point, you would usually have pause about entering this space given how fast it's going and growing. But I would definitely, this is a founder I would bet on.
I agree with both of you. Please excuse my dog in the background. He's not happy. But I agree with you both. I think she's fantastic. I'm really excited to see what she's going to do. I do think she has to raise quickly, but I'm confident that she's going to be able to do that fairly soon with the traction she's seen thus far, especially given the desire for more at-home content from everyone. So that was fantastic. Really excited to see her. Also, while we're thinking about leveling up our lives and productivity, people who've been watching this show for a long time know that the very first winner of the show was a company called Undock. We eventually invested in Undock. We led their seed round, and we're super excited to share a little bit of content from them with you right now.
Are you free? Not if you arrange meetings like this. It's time for a new approach. It's time for Undock. Welcome to predictive scheduling. See mutually preferred meeting times based on your availability and your preferences compared with everyone else in the meeting. Undock suggests the right time to meet without you ever leaving your inbox. It's time you experience the fastest way to schedule, host, and document meetings. Undock makes it easy to connect instantly and share availability privately. Whether you're meeting across companies or across continents, wherever you work, control time with Undock.
God,
Man, that was good. That's so good.
I love them so much. I love them. I just do. I do. Yes. It's amazing how quickly a company can mature, right? We just had that company on a few months ago, and now here they are in market. Like, anybody can get on the platform. We're using it to schedule things. We had a meeting today with, a large NBA team, and they were, right on it. So let's just keep rolling. I'm excited. Happy
Absolutely. So to keep things rolling, we're going to bring in our next contestant on the show, Mr. Marcus, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself and make music count.
What's up? What's up?
How you doing?
Hi.
How you guys
Nice
doing?
to meet you again. You have 1 minute to tell us all about you as a person, as a human, not the company.
Awesome. My name is Marcus Blackwell. I am originally from Windsor, Connecticut. Although I live currently in Atlanta. I'm the husband to Tanisha Blackwell and father of Victoria Blackwell, who will be 2 next month. I graduated from Morehouse College. Everything for me starts with my love for playing the piano. I'm a classically trained jazz, gospel music. I played professionally since the age of 16. But I also struggled with math as a kid growing up. And that's how everything comes together for me. I just have this chip on the shoulder where I have to prove that math will no longer beat me. And that's where the idea for Make Music Count came. My passion of music connected with this issue I had with math. So now I'm all about trying to provide students with what I wish I would have had as a kid growing up, because I've learned there's importance to having culturally relevant learning. It allows a level playing field and for students to reach their full educational potential. So that's me. Songs made math fun. Turns out most of us experience some level of math anxiety. And when compared to other countries around the world, we are not in competition. Hi, my name is Marcus Blackwell, CEO and founder of Make Music Count, a math curriculum and app taught by learning how to play your favorite songs on the piano. And I used to be one of those kids afraid of math. My fear of math ended after I attended Morehouse College and realized that my passion of playing the piano also included understanding math. This led to a mathematics degree, becoming an engineer in corporate America, and teaching the Make Music curriculum to 3rd to 12th grade students for 6 years. I learned that all students want to learn, but you have to meet them where they are. And that's what Make Music Count does. We have made math culturally relevant. Let's learn more with an example. We get started by selecting a math subject. Today's lesson will focus on fractions, but it'll be more fun because it'll be taught by learning how to play the song Do It by Hallie and Chloe. Let's get started. Your question says F plus 1. You're going to look at the piano like a number line and count in half intervals from one key to another. F to F sharp is a half, and F sharp to G is another half. F plus 1 is G. When you finish the answers to your questions, you're solving for the notes to play the song on the piano. And your end result is that you'll be able to hear the music and play along. When the keys light up, you play along as well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. That's just what it do, and that's just how we do it, yeah, that's just how we do it, you like it what I do, know how to keep it cool, and that's just how we do it, and that's just how we do it, and you can do it too. That is how you make math cool. The coronavirus has changed how we think about education for the near future. Now, we've seen an increase in demand from parents who need educational resources to engage their kids at home, but also now that schools are operating with socially distanced digital learning, they need creative resources like Make Music Count to increase engagement and retention so that you can be using this in math class and music class. Let's take a look at our market. There are 300 million students that are currently homeschooled globally. And because of the coronavirus, there were over 1 billion students who are at home and 60 million teachers that were not in the classroom. Here's how we're going to reach our target market. For reaching parents, we're going to be using social media marketing and marketing through the Apple and Google Play Store. For landing more school district partnerships, we'll be partnering with platforms like Clever and working with Google for Education. Here's how we make money. For our app in the App Store, it's a freemium subscription model at $5.99 a month or $49.99 for the year. And we also license to school districts at $7 a student for the year. Currently, there are just shy of 3,000 people who are using the app on their phone. And we have 250 schools, which equals about 50,000 students registered through our school district plan. We are very creative with how we need to reach students. For example, with our national partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, we also collaborate with Cartoon Network, where we featured one of their new movies in our app. And we've also worked with the NBA Players Association, where we can attach ourselves with their desired need for working with educational reform. And we'd like to work with you. If you are a record label, we'd like to collaborate so that you can have a creative way to market your new artist's music while we show how their music helps improve math performance. Not only is our curriculum cool, it is working. We see an average of 20% increase in math test scores. This has been excellent with special needs students, and it's decreasing behavior problems and just generally creating a positive math learning environment. This is my team. All of us are interested in using creativity to educate kids so that they can reach their full educational potential. The way to reach kids is by making lessons that are culturally relevant. Students will perform better when they can see themselves in the lessons. And we'd like to work with you. Again, if you are a record label or in the music industry, let's talk about how we can collaborate, where we can use our platform to market your artists, new music, and if we can find ways that our platform can increase streams on your music streaming platform. Thank you.
Marcus, we say this every show, but Lexi does such a good job finding you.
Listen, special shout out, especially after what happened yesterday with our new VP. The HBCU VC community is what brought us together. So another shout out to the HBCU world.
Yes. Absolutely. it was so weird seeing my quarantine beard.
I was going to say a little smoother these days.
Yeah, that was the beard I grew during the pandemic.
Okay, I'm gonna let someone else go first because I have way too many questions. So somebody else first.
I'll go first because this wasn't obvious to me before I met Marcus. Explain what math phobia is for the audience and why it matters long term for children.
Yeah, so math has this really terrible stigma attached to it that kids and even some adults just feel that math is harder than it should be and that they can't do it. And so when you don't believe or have the confidence in something, it pours into poor performance on math tests and it just becomes one terrible cycle. So I just call that math phobia. And when you have math phobia, it's hard to get over it. It can stay with you your entire life. We see students that don't go towards STEM fields in college. So it's important to nip this in the bud while students are young.
I'll go next. So blending math and music is really, really important. Marlon, there's a point down here in the comments, we can bring it up even though it's early in the show, about some of the favorite computer scientists having music degrees. And this is true. I remember my father telling me early in my career, when you're going to hire computer scientists and you go to a college, they're going to take you to the comp sci department, just stop them and have them take you to the School of Music, because musicians tend to be excellent engineers. They're coding all day, essentially, right? They can sit still, they can creatively problem solve. And so if you can unlock music and math in someone's mind or even intertwine them, it seems to me you could create some really, really good skill that's a lifelong skill. Do you see that a lot in your work?
Well, I think what we've captured is really the power of music. It makes us feel good. It makes us happy. And all I did was I pivoted that towards math application. And so for my students, you know, I always go for the ones that I hate math. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Yeah, but when it's the incentive is your favorite song, and oh, by the way, you can learn how to play it, all of a sudden that fear goes out the window. I know for me personally, I didn't even know that I was technically minded until I realized that playing the piano involved mathematics. It literally was this light bulb moment for me, and it led to a math degree. And that's really where this came from. So, I mean, if I'm an example, I am, but I see it firsthand. So,
I just one more question about the go-to-market strategy. One of the challenges that a lot of ed tech investors have is districts' budgets are tight, slow decision makers, sometimes not the most creative thinkers at the administration level, though the students and teachers tend to love new opportunity. Are you seeing that in some of your conversions, and how are you kind of overcoming those challenges?
yes, I'm definitely seeing that. It's quite the struggle to work with school districts, and the way that we've figured out how to not go around but work kind of alongside that issue is actually this month we the pandemic is about pivoting and having new ideas. This month we released something called the Make Music Count Academy, which is a way for teachers to create their own Make Music Count class and host enrichment classes personally with their students that they have. This gives the power to the teacher, right? They already have the connection to the kids, and we're essentially giving them a turnkey operation, a curriculum, an app for them to use, on Zoom and also in person. And so what we've seen is school budgets can still purchase this just like they did before we were an app as an enrichment. And then this is also really exciting for any type of adult that has access to kids, right? So we're kind of creating a marketplace as well. But our difference is we're giving you the tools for you to just turn the key, connect your students in, and have a really positive math and music experience.
So you're teaching kids from grade 3 through 12.
Yes.
But the bulk is there the bulk of that learning, is it toward the younger ages, or does it pretty much span all of those grades?
Yeah, so the way that I decided on my curriculum was from the 6 years I spent in the classroom teaching this. And I literally was able to realize the pain points in these different grades. So for your 3rd, 4th, and 5th, it's really fractions. How do we nail down understanding of fractions? Then it becomes order of operations, multiplication, division. And then for the middle school and high school, it's algebra, right? How do you solve for X? How do you substitute variables? And then we added in pre-calculus and calculus, just because sometimes during my presentations to some schools, I'd be like, oh, this is too simple. Oh, okay, well, let me activate my mathematics degree. And now we're going to do calculus in our demonstration now, right? So it's all in there. And the fun part is like, this is where it gets exciting. I get to now continue to develop new types of mathematical subjects that can apply here. So right now we're working on geometry. We're doing graphing. And, just a little insight here. We're going to be doing more than mathematics. Mathematics is just where we start. We're going to move to English, to science, because I really believe that this new way of teaching how subjects integrate is what's going to make the difference when it comes to educating this new generation of students.
Oh, I think that's a fantastic idea. And that was actually my next question. It was kind of, where is the company going? I know that a few years ago, my kids were on Musical.ly, and then it shifted to TikTok. And music and dance hasn't gone away on their social media. So I was wondering that. So
I can actually add more to that too.
Please.
Because again, silver lining with the pandemic, it allows you to step back and think about ways you can grow. We have found additional verticals. I talked about one in the pitch, which was collaborating with music streaming platforms. The idea behind that is when you think about your Apple Musics and Spotify's, none of them can access the time during the school day at all. And so by integrating with our platform, we can increase their music streaming numbers through our platform. And then the other vertical is going to be in the healthcare space. We're now in communication with children's hospitals. The children that go to these hospitals have a curriculum that they need to stay sharp. And we want to be a part of that curriculum as well. So, working with them, to teach math is great, but that opens the door for things like music therapy, working with older patients that have early symptoms of Alzheimer's, right? Just the power of music is able to fit into so many verticals. And again, these are active conversations we're having. So as far as the vision, I really see us operating in not just ed tech, but the healthcare space and music streaming as well.
Marcus, I love your energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any more questions, Candace?
Nope, I'm done. He answered all of them right there at the end, so we're great.
Excellent. So Marcus, we're going to take a couple of questions from the audience. First
Sure.
of all, lots of love for you as well in the audience tonight.
Thank you.
So Java Grunt wants to know, do they need a piano to participate?
No, the piano is actually inside of the app. And so not only do you not need a piano, you do not need to know how to play a piano. The way this works is the math application will teach you how to play the piano. That's how it works. And so when you answer the math equations, it's at the top. You answer by pushing the piano notes. So there's no need for a piano. But that does bring up a good point. Later down the road, I would love to add some type of Bluetooth sync so that we can connect with people that have piano keyboards. But the reason why we wanted to put it in there is because a lot of my students can't afford keyboards and don't have them at home. So we wanted to put everything inside of the app.
Excellent. Mosanti wants to know exactly how does the math part work? They might have missed something, but they saw 8+2 formats.
Yes. So let's just break that down for a second. So what I did was I took the piano and I took everything that had a musical definition and changed it to a math definition. So for example, moving from a white key to a black key is called a half step. So what we're doing is we're looking at the piano like it's a number line. And all you're doing is whenever you move from one key to the next, it's always going to be in half intervals. So for the question that says A+2, you would start on A, moving from A to the black key A sharp. Was it A+2? Yeah, A+2. A to A sharp is a half. A sharp to B is 1. B to C is 1.5. And C to C sharp is 2. So A+2 would equal C sharp. And you would push that on the piano. So if you just count, again, you're not counting the notes, you're counting the movement between each key, which are always half intervals. And if you count in halves, like half, you'll get it. There's a tutorial as soon as you open the app. I promise you, it's a video. And
that was
great. You'll get it.
It was very
fantastic. Octagonal Raven wants to know, what kind of changes do you see in outcomes overall? I think you covered some of that. I'm assuming you see a very significant improvement. You did mention improvement test scores.
Yeah, so success for Make Music Count means a lot of things. First it's, hey, I'm not doing well in math. Let me boost my confidence, which then boosts the performance and like the quizzes inside of the app. But there's also things like I didn't know if I could play the piano, and now I have a really cool way to play the piano, right? So a lot of times kids that are technical don't think that they have that other side of the brain that's artistic to learn an instrument. Well, that's not true anymore with this. But we've also seen success with special needs students, right? And again, it's the wonderfulness and beauty of music that unlocks all this potential for students. So, I've even seen some cases where I would argue that those students did not need to be special ed. They just weren't engaged properly. And again, this goes back to the importance of culturally relevant curriculum, right? A curriculum where students can see themselves in it, see their culture. That's music, right? That's what we're talking about. So there's a wide range. And like I said, when we start to move into these other verticals like healthcare, I think it's going to open up even more ways that we can help, like with just the way the mind works and the benefits that you can see there.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Marcus. Lots of love for you in the comments.
Oh,
so
thank you.
For people who want to get this for their schools, for their children, for their nieces and nephews, how can they find it?
Yeah, so if you go to the Apple Store or your Google Play Store, just search Make Music Count. It's 3 separate words and it'll pop right up. You can also find me on Instagram, which is @_Make Music Count. You can also go to my website, which is makemusiccount.com. I'm also on Twitter, which is @_Make Music Count. Facebook, like if you search Make Music Count, it'll pop right up. Lots of YouTube videos as well, which I made tutorial videos of lessons inside of the app with different ranges of subjects. So you can watch some of those just to kind of get a gist of how the math works. But I promise, even if you're an adult, this works, right? So a lot of adults, they're like, I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano, but I don't want to do the music theory and the sheet music. Well, now you don't have to. There's a really easy way. Just, click the fractions so it's easy. And you'll learn the melodies and the chords and you'll be playing before you know it.
That's so fantastic. Thank you so much again, Marcus. Everyone in the comments, if you'd like to vote for Make Music Count, text the number 4 to 203-408-6432. Once again, Make Music Count is number 4 to 203-408-6432. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you all. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Nice to meet you. Good luck.
Now we're going to talk. I love it.
We have the best jobs in the world.
Quick note, Java Grunt, yes, you can vote more than once. Feel free to vote for any company you see through this whole season that you would want to invest in.
Thoughts, ladies?
Yeah, this is a hard job because he's got 3,000 users. He's in 250 schools. And it sounds as if there's not been a whole lot of fundraising that's happened. So I don't know. This show is really just like every time we do it, it's just much more like clarity that there's no pipeline issue. And I know we say that every single season, but I mean, I guess that's where I want to start. For me, because I'm not a typical ed tech investor, the sales cycle is what scares me. But he kind of like fixed that issue because he has users that are coming from the Apple App Store and Google Play. So he's making certain that he has revenue at all times, if not only relying on selling into a school district. So that was first and foremost. Again, I've got some sort of like weird gap like on the team. Lexi, do you remember like what the team looked like?
Small team. He has a few advisors and one technical person, but it's mostly him.
Yeah, good question, Alabama in return. So what do we typically look for? So as a fund, which is a little different than the foundation that runs Twitch Pitch, as a fund, we look for companies in 5 verticals: consumer packaged goods and services, e-commerce, sustainability, artificial intelligence, and healthcare. We invest in companies in the mighty middle, just the center of the country. It's a little beyond the typical scope of the Midwest, If you look it up online, Kauffman Foundation did a white paper on the mighty middle and kind of the geography of that. And we invest in BIPOC founders, women, those who identify as LGBTQIA+, and those who have disabilities. So that's what we typically look for. But for a little bit more feedback on Make Music Count, I just love how far he's gotten. He's created an entire new way of learning math. And, we met a founder in late 2019 who was helping people with reading, right? And reading comprehension at a really young level. You guys remember that in Kansas City. And it's these people who are able to keep people out of this. And I hate to bring this up, school to prison pipeline. Math matters, you guys. If you don't know this, financial literacy doesn't happen. You don't know how to do your taxes. There's so many things that can be a problem if you don't understand math. And we have to keep children engaged with math. And the fact that he's found an entirely new way of doing it and already scaled it up to this level, I think is pretty amazing. And so I just need to learn a little bit more about this particular market of ed tech so that I can give better feedback.
Brian?
Yeah, I definitely agree with all those things. I would add, it's just when you find someone that solves a problem in a really, really unique way, that's very, very special. And there is a load of people and a load of companies that will buy companies like his for the traction, but also for the founder, and just say, you know what? Now you're the senior vice president of this learning company, and you're gonna just keep dreaming of new products for us, and you're gonna make us a ton of money. And so I think you're betting on both the company, but here, kind of someone seeing the brilliance of the founder. It's not his only idea. It's not his only thing that he could do. And if I were at Scholastic, this is something that I'd be super interested in because it helps.
You're right, Brian. He, toward the end of his answers, he was talking about the healthcare space and music therapy. And so no, you're absolutely right. You can tell by all of the things that he's done, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And this just goes back to what you always say, you bet on the founder.
Yeah. That's it. Lacey?
So
Hamilton.
Wait until it's your turn, too.
I know. For those of you who don't know, I have a baby Maltese at home who loves attention. So when I don't give it to him, he has lots of thoughts. So to answer the question in the comments about the EdTech sales cycle, it can be up to a year. For traditional public schools, and it's a little different for private, they only buy one time a year when the budget's established, generally between March and May of the year. Ignore him. And so generally you start the conversations that summer, and it's not until that following year when you make the sale. So up to a year. And so that's always been my biggest issue with this industry as a whole. But I think, he's obviously doing really well. I'm really excited to see what he does. I'd love to see him talk to the folks at EduLab, and I'd love to see him talk to the folks at Learn. And I'd love to see him talk to, and I don't remember the name of the team, and I think they purposely keep it a secret, but the Macmillan Hall press team does have a very small strategic M&A team. It's 5 people, and he should get on their radar.
I know some halls.
There we go.
Yeah, I know some halls.
So I'm going to say there's a couple other questions here. So let me just answer some questions from Time Frog. I see you're new here. Hello, welcome. We're excited that you're here and you're watching. We love all the feedback that you're putting in the comments about your thoughts on the products. Reasons why we don't ask more questions about teams is, to be completely honest, this is a show. This is a show to win $25,000 as a grant. This is not our formal investment diligence process. If we were using this as a formal diligence process, yes, we would be asking a lot more questions about the team. As Brian mentioned, the founder and the founding team is really important. So we do spend a lot of time on that, but we try to pack a lot into about an hour. So we do a lot of editing that we normally would do. in terms of like real diligence versus the show. I hope that makes sense. But yes, team composition is incredibly relevant in terms of real investment decisions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should mention quickly.
I'm just excited for all the people that are here.
I know. I don't know who Rockstar 74 is, but I appreciate the love they've sent to the show.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone who's here.
Our friends
Rockstar 74.
I see our friends at Blue North. So I see Britt Fitzpatrick was here, and that's certainly
out there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, you know, Elon Musk is even on here, which is kind of dope. Alabamans were great.
So, and Alabama Man Returns, I saw you had one other question earlier, and I will answer that in the behind the scenes segment in just one moment. But I'm just going to close out the actual formal show. Thank you everyone so much for coming tonight. For those of you who are new, stay tuned. We do a little bit more talking and Q&A after this, but thank you to everyone for watching. We saw two fantastic companies pitch tonight. If you're interested, try one or both of those platforms. I'm excited to try Level Up, and I'm definitely sending Make Music Count to my younger siblings. Thank you to our fantastic sponsors, JP Morgan Chase, Ohio Third Frontier, and the Hillman Accelerator. Thank you, everyone, and good night. So, hey, we're back.
We're back.
In the audience, they said previous shows are still online. Get caught up. I love that.
Absolutely right. For Java Grunt's 100% right. If you are curious to see what is the show really all about, binge watch it. I know plenty of people who've done it, and it's a really good time because the episodes are relatively short. So if you go to YouTube and type in Lightship Capital or Twitch Pitch, you'll see our channel. It's the Lightship Capital channel, and you can binge every episode from start to finish, and it's a good time. But if you're interested in continuing to watch the new ones, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we're running 4 seasons of this year. So really excited to keep doing this with all of you. And if you're a founder yourself and you want to be on the show, it's pretty easy. Just go to our website, lightship.capital. There's a whole tab for Twitch Pitch with the instructions and some FAQs. Feel free to join. Always looking for new companies to be on the show. And Rockstar 74, hello. Yeah, I mean, if you want to help out, feel free to send us a message. You can get to us on our website pretty easily, I believe. And someone from the Twitch Pitch team will reach back out.
Yeah. Someone asked, when will the winners of each round be announced? So there are 7 episodes per season. So this is episode 2. You just kind of count them out every Tuesday. So the final round is sometime in February. The exact
early February, early to mid February. I don't have it up in front of me, but
3 weeks plus a day. So it'll be here in 2 weeks plus a day. We'll announce the winner of the $25,000.
And one thing I wanted to touch on afterwards was I think it was Alabama Man Returns asked about advice for a 21-year-old. Hey, I was 21 fairly recently. So my
there we go.
My advice, honestly, is one, if you're looking for a job during the middle of a global pandemic when everything's upside down, don't panic. It's going to be okay. Jobs will come back. Things will rebound. If you're looking for advice on what career path to take, no one really knows what they're doing with their life ever. We're all just pretending to know what we're doing. But really follow your passion, but also make sure it's a passion where you can support yourself, right? So while I would love to be on Broadway and doing theater for my entire life, that doesn't make sense. My second love is working with startups and building things. So I get to do that here every day. So really follow your passion. Don't worry about the job market. It's going to work out, and learn from everyone you can.
Everyone wants to see Hamilton. And there's a training situation probably happening right now. Like, you don't want to go grab him because he's barking, but oh, there we go.
Here he is. For those of you who've been with us since he came around, season 2, maybe 3?
That's right.
Show them the people. Show them the people.
Say hello.
Hey, Ham.
Hi.
Look at that, Mom.
Are we competing with Gimlet's The Pitch? No, we don't. Here's the thing. There are so many fantastic companies in the world. We don't compete with anyone, and we hope they don't compete with us. There's more than enough room for anyone and everyone to showcase really great startup talent in the universe. And we're excited to see more people showcasing other startups, as long as they're not using our name. Let's see.
I love it. I love it.
I think we've covered everything. Guys, we love all the engagement, all the questions, all the comments. Keep them coming. We love to read them. We love to answer them. And yes, Hamilton is lovely and fluffy, and he's silent now because he's sitting on my lap. He's gotten what he's wanted. I caved
in. There you go. Yeah. Now you know what it's like to be a human parent. It's the same thing.
And on that note, what would it take to close an edtech deal in less than a year? To close an edtech deal in less than a year, you're more likely to get that done if you're working with private or charter schools. Sometimes those schools' budgets operate on more of a semester basis than a yearly basis. And in those cases, you have a better shot of getting something to close pretty early. Time Frog, you're new and frankly, you're hooked. Listen, welcome. Welcome to the club. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. We love what we get to do, and we're excited that you're enjoying it too. Alabama Man returns. Big questions. How did you guys become investors? Who wants to start?
Okay. Actually, Lexi, your story is actually the most formal.
And it connects to you too.
Okay, so I'll start. Yeah. So in 2017, I started an accelerator focused on supporting women and minorities in tech in Cincinnati. With that, I started a small micro fund to invest in those companies. It was started as a 100K investment. And it went really well. I started to kind of dream to do something bigger, to continue to invest in the companies. So that kind of work experience helped me to kick off with Brian a $20 million fund we finished the doc. So it was a $20 million fund we kicked off in 2020. We then kind of blew that out of the water, and we're on track to close $50 million by the end of Q2. So how do we become investors? We noticed that there was a problem in the national tech ecosystem amongst all VCs, that companies that were led by BIPOC founders, women, et cetera, weren't getting their fair share of venture capital. So for us, we decided to launch our own fund, and that's how we became venture capitalists.
And we do have what we call funds to invest, or dry powder. So send your friends. They can go to our website. There's an apply for funding button that goes directly to the team. Lexi sees all those deals. We want to see them. You don't require warm intros with our firm. We want to make sure everybody has a chance to get the investment that they deserve.
Absolutely. And my path has a weird tie to both of these people. So I went to school for business and chemistry, realized I didn't want to be in a lab bench all day. And I was more interested in commercializing technologies. Somehow started doing private equity fairly young. Did that for a bit, and then moved to the growth equity VC team at a firm where I met Brian. I was almost an investor in his last venture, which was super cool. That's how we met, and we always stayed in touch. Behind the scenes, my firm was also doing some pretty weird lobbying. And I had heard there was this woman who had gotten this really cool minority entrepreneurial connectivity assessment passed in Ohio. That's this woman. I had no idea that they even knew each other. And one day Brian called me and said, hey, 2 things are happening. First thing is I'm getting married to a lady you might know, this lady. The second thing is we're going to start a venture fund together. Do you want to come along for the ride? And I was crazy enough to say yes. And the rest is history. And myself included, I saw some pretty distasteful things in the other side of the investing world. And I too knew that we had to be a little different to give founders equal chances and equal shots and getting capital and growing and scaling. So
Me worked at big tech firms like Apple, Comcast, IBM, others. Left there to start a facial recognition AI firm called Kairos. It actually was born in California but moved to Miami, where we grew, raised about $13 million over 8 years, sold in 2018. And that's kind of where we all started to come together. So my experience as an investor is really by taking investment. We had about 120 investors, so I'd been through a number of deals. I also bought 3 companies as well, so I've seen a lot of sides of the table, and I'm taking that experience as a founder and as a buyer of companies, and now using it in my investment life.
And Alabama Man Returns, if you ever want to talk about it offline, send me a message on LinkedIn.
That's cool.
Cool.
Always happy to share the story.
So I'm actually going out to dinner with Patrick Bailey, Candace, who just arrived.
Ohio. There we go. Okay. Okay.
Just landed. He went to the Publix to get a few things, and it's all happening. So
That's our friend from Generator.
Sure is. Fan of the show, as a matter of fact.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Well, I know he's trying to get to Mayor Suarez if he could get to him.
He's going to City Hall to see him, as I understand.
Are you kidding me? The power of Twitter is amazing. Yes. I love it.
So, Brian, we're going to let you get to your dinner. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a fantastic show. Come back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Really excited about it. Do we know Sam Altman?
Yes.
I mean, I don't.
Not personally. No, you mean like, do we know who he is? Or?
In life, yes. But
no, not.
You're welcome to make an introduction.
So if Meg Stanley would like to make an introduction, please reach out to one of us on social or LinkedIn, and we'll talk about it offline.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Bye, everyone.